Welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, I'm just trying to catch up on a few jobs on the allotment, as we always do, especially this time of the year when most of the vegetables are in and we're waiting to make a few harvests. And one of the jobs was to get these old pallets out that are running these edges, mainly because some of them are falling to pieces and I'm liable to damage myself, my ankles mainly, by treading on them, and they're actually breaking. So I've removed some from this side. This is the path nearest the fruit cage, and this is what it looks like. Very rotten, but you can see what we've done. There's a pallet. We've took some of the pallet bits of wood off and sunk those into the ground, and they've done well for the last 4 years. But it's time to replace them for these new raised beds that we're going to do over the winter months. But I can't help myself, I've got to make a start. In anticipation of doing these beds, I didn't bother replacing these wood chips, mainly because I didn't want to put fresh wood chips on top of the paths. I normally use these wood chips on top of the fruit bushes in the fruit cage as a mulch, but I looked and thought, well, they're about 3 years old now, so wood chips are a gardener's best friend. So to see if they'd be any good as some seed compost, perhaps mixed with some leaf mould. This is what we've riddled. That's the aftermath, and from this little space here we end up with this. Now, I'm not sure how well you can see that, but that's quite nice stuff. Now, I'm not sure whether we're going to get volunteer seeds, weed seeds, etc. come out of that, but this wood chip path's been down 3 years and it's only the occasional weed that pops through. So in an experiment, I'm going to set or sow my next sowing of lettuce in a tray in this, and I'll update you to see how we get on. But I do find wood chips are the best thing on an allotment. You can use them in the paths, keep topping them up, scrape the top off, which will reveal this lovely stuff. So back to Eden. You can understand why some of our fellow allotmenteers grow in wood chips. It's got to be the way forward in a few cases, and I may consider having 1 or 2 beds just like this. So some of my intentions are going to be to lift these slabs, put them vertically next to the fence, take the fence down, and wood chip down here. The slabs then will be a weed barrier from next door, and it'll make it so much easier to weed that side as well, because the wire fence, it does take a little bit of weeding. So more wood chips, and we can reuse them at a later date once they've rotted down. And also this area on the left hand side of the polytunnel that we don't normally see, strawberries doing well. Looks like I've got a good pick in here, but there's moss and all sorts growing. So again, these slabs will be lifted, and I'll pass them on to some other plot holders. You can see here where I'll put some fresh wood chips this year, and up there's the old, and I'm sure they'll riddle just nicely. A little bit wet at the minute, as we all know, with the this June weather we've had. But I'm really looking forward to perhaps trying wood chips in a bed and growing the Back to Eden way. Do you grow like that? What do you think of wood chips? I always like to ask the question before I do something drastic. I'd appreciate the comments on your feelings. So much better than slabs. Weeds pull out easy. It suits me and doesn't suit everyone. Yeah, but please leave a message in the comments below on what you think. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.